Hey guys, welcome to the Dawg House Podcast. On this week's episode, we got Eric Taylor from the Bulldawg Report as we discuss the drama of Dylan Raiola. Is he going to Nebraska? We'll talk about that. Early look at the 2024 schedule for UGA and some transfer portal news. Also, some good news. Dawg House Podcast is now on Spotify. Please check that out, all the old and new episodes. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. That really helps out. A great new guest. We got Eric Taylor from the Bulldawg Report. How are we doing today, Eric?
All right. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Yeah, appreciate you. And where are you sitting at today, Eric? I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Uh, Buckhannon, Georgia, about 10 minutes from Alabama, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't fun after a couple weeks ago.
No,
Okay,
not at all.
I got you. Yeah, I wanted to jump right into it. We were going to talk about some other things, but I know it's the buzz of yesterday is looks like Dylan Raiola is going to flip and go to Nebraska. I know that's the big rumor, but all the major outlets are coming out. So I want to get your thoughts on that and kind of where Georgia's going to head from there.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like is going to end up happening. Um, from my point of view, the good thing is, Ryan Puglisi, I think that's how
Hmm.
you say his name.
Right.
He's officially signed as of today. So, he's an early enrollee. So we didn't miss out on both our quarterbacks. We did get one of them that was already committed. It was a big loss in Dylan, but I think we'll be all right there.
Yeah, I know he was a long time commit, and he was almost kind of like the big eight say cheerleader for this class. I think he was hosting a lot of the recruits. I know he's been linked to KJ Bolden, who's from the same high school, Buford, last week. I know KJ Bolden looks like he's Florida State commit, but I know Georgia's been trying to flip him. But I know he has ties with his dad, played there. He's alumni, and then also I believe his uncle is I think he's an O-line coach or he's a coordinator with Nebraska. And then also Matt Rule mentioned a couple of weeks back that you got to pay, 1 million to $1.5 million to get a good quarterback in the transfer portal or a recruit. So all that kind of coming together. But I guess for Georgia, it's just really bad timing because we just lost Brock Vandergriff last week, or he's transferring to Kentucky, and Beck's still up in the air. So I hope he's gonna make his decision soon. But I do like the Ryan Puglisi, if I'm saying that right. He looks like he's got a strong arm. He's mobile, 4-star out of Connecticut, so that will be a good backup. But I mean, it seems like the kid's pretty good. I mean, it'd be great to have him, but it's just sign of the times. And then also him, I think he was at 4 different high schools, and this would be his third commitment. He was originally to Ohio State, Georgia, and if he does Nebraska, so it seems like the kid doesn't really know what he wants. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it seems like if you read the tea leaves of the moves that he's making, he cited that he was upset with Ohio State for talking to other quarterbacks after saying that they wouldn't when he decommitted and then eventually committed to Georgia. And then, like you brought up, Carson Beck may be coming back. There's talk and buzz there. So I don't know. It seems like he's trying to go somewhere where it's either guaranteed or there's a better chance of him being able to start. Not necessarily start, but play early.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I hope the best for him. I'm kind of at the end of the day, hey, if you don't want to be a dog, then good luck to you. We kind of move on. I mean, Kirby's got a well-oiled machine here. I believe we can move on without him. It'd be great to have him. Like I said, seems like kid's got a great arm, smooth in the pocket. He kind of remind me a little bit like C.J. Stroud, kind of a step up in the pocket, 6'4", really accurate. But it sucks that we're going to lose him. But hey, we got other guys to go over, and looks like it'd be hopefully Carson Beck, Gunnar Stockton, and Ryan Puglisi, and that'll be probably the guys battling out in the spring. So we'll see. And then after that news, I believe some Georgia fans might need some our great sponsor, VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. Zero carb, zero sugar, lightly carbonated, really good if you're not great on hangovers. It goes down smooth. My personal favorite is the watermelon, but to get 25% off, or I'm sorry, 20% off is Dawg House 20 for vivatequilaseltzer.com. Again, that's Dawg House 20 for 20% off. They've been a great sponsor this year on the podcast. And then also, another thing I want to talk about is transfer portal's been buzzing. Not the greatest for Georgia. I believe it's 12 scholarship players. Even had some walk-ons recently. Had a kicker. I want to get your thoughts on the transfer portal, or as the way our Jake Rose says it, Portapalooza is going on, and also any guys that you think that might come and transfer to Georgia.
Um, yeah. When it comes to the transfer portal, I find it funny because it's another thing that where people usually associate it with like free agency,
Mhm.
but there's also the other thing of, well, when you're bringing in 20, 30 guys a year, they have to go somewhere. So like you have to fit them into the roster. So roster management really comes into it too. So um, like you said, I think we're losing 12 guys. I don't have the numbers in front of me currently. I know one of the guys that they want to bring in is the wide receiver from Vanderbilt, London Humphreys. I know they're real big on him. He's I want to say 4'4" guy. He was a track guy. Um, so he'd bring a lot of speed to a room that don't have a ton of it. I mean, there's Arian Smith, there's CJ Smith, Zed Haynes is leaving.
Mhm.
Um,
Makai Muse, I thought he would have stayed. He was a good punt returner.
yeah, I kind of understand that one though, because like a receiver wants to play receiver. He don't always
Mhm.
just want to be a special teams guy. And so like I kind of understand that. I mean, it like you said, it sucks to see him go, but it'd be really interesting to see him, actually get some targets in an offense somewhere.
And he wasn't on scholarship either, so that might have been another big thing too. Maybe somebody was actually offering him a scholarship, and you never know, a small NIL. Yeah, I did hate losing Brock Vandegrift. I mean,
Hmm.
I liked him that he was mobile, but I can't blame the kid. He finished his degree, or he is going to finish it, be a grad transfer, and he can go play at Kentucky. And we're going to run into him, I believe, the third game next year, so we'll see. Um, yeah, 12 guys is a lot so far. No real big starters. I know Nyland Green and Xavier Sawyer, where I believe they're two former 5 stars, so they could always add depth. Not really losing any starters. How about the Trevor ATN? Do you think I always say Trevor, the ATN kid from Florida? Do you think we have a shot with him, or
There was a lot of buzz for Georgia, but it's kind of going back and forth. Um, I wouldn't mind getting him, but I'm going to drop a hint here. They are also watching the states to the east of to the west of us to see if a certain um, player in the same position hits the transfer portal between now and the end of the window. So they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. Um, I mean, it still could happen, but they've also got their eyes and ears out for other players. Could they hit the portal?
what are some positions in need? Do you think that with it they need to focus on in the portal, and maybe roughly how many players you think they'll take?
They're concentrating mostly on receiver and defensive line. I know they're trying to bring in about three in each of those positions. And then of course you got like Etienne, so they're looking at running back. Um, I really wouldn't be surprised if they looked at linebacker also. And the thing that there wasn't really a standout edge rusher last year other than Jalen Walker, and I have no insights into the coaching or what they're going to do, but I'd really like to see them just kind of give up on him being an inside linebacker and make him an edge rusher. But I don't know what their plans are in the future of that. Last year, he was pretty much the third down pass rusher. That's what he was. Like on third down, he would come in and he would pass rush. in the Alabama game, he played just 12 snaps. 7 of those were pass rush, and on 5 of those, he got a pressure or a sack. I mean, I don't know what else you're looking to see from an edge rusher.
I completely agree. He did really well towards the end of the year. And then is it Malachi Williams? He kind of have a quiet year. I know he had a lot of hype around him, and he did some things, but I think maybe kind of struggled some. But yeah, complete wideout would be great. I think another running back because I believe you're going to lose Milton and Edwards, I believe. And Branson Robinson coming back off the knee injury. You're not going to sure how healthy he is. I think you got three guys coming in. Um, Three guys coming in the recruiting class, so that definitely help. So I could see them going to the portal. So we'll see. Also, I want to mention finally for the podcast, we're getting Spotify. We're on Spotify now. I'm gonna try to upload some of the other episodes. So it's great to get on there. I've been working on getting on Apple Podcasts. Hopefully, that'll Google. But Apple's been having some issues. I've been getting the issues on trying to add that. But we're on Spotify. I'll put that in the description. So everybody check out the podcast, and I'll try to upload some of the old episodes and the new ones. So that'll be great to get that out there. And then looking ahead at the 2024 schedule that I guess was supposedly leaked last week. I'm not sure if everybody else. I think SEC Network always loves having like a kind of like a premiere party. But anyway, somebody leaked it out, so I guess that was the media dropping the ball on that. But looking into it, brutal schedule as they're saying. You got Clemson, Tennessee Tech should be easy at Kentucky, so you'll get to see Brock Vandergriff get a bye week, which will be good and prepare for at Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, at Texas, and then that whole thing. What do you think about the them supposedly scheduling around Formula One race? I heard that's going to be hard on getting hotels and tickets. That was I don't know if they scheduled that right. Um, and then Florida at Ole Miss could be tough. Lane Train, Tennessee. So yeah, all in all, a brutal schedule. Any early thoughts on that? Maybe a rough prediction on what we're looking at?
Uh, well, back to what you said about them leaking the schedule, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Especially when like we Georgia lost the SEC championship game, and there was a bunch of talk, like us fans were especially were talking about the SEC officiating, and the schedule was supposed to be released tomorrow night,
Right.
and like Georgia was just like, yeah, CBS I think was the one that leaked it, but they were just like here, and
Right.
it was just like, yeah, Georgia's going to do what Georgia wants to do.
Yeah.
But the schedule I really like how it's broken up. 3 games, then you have 4 games. Um that the middle is going to be really tough though. It's the after the first bye you got Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi, Texas, bye then Florida. I mean, one thing is they can't say anything about strength of schedule with Georgia next year. Absolutely not.
Yeah, completely agreed. I guess looking at it really quickly with the 12-team payoff, I'm hoping if you can maybe split at Alabama or at Texas would be great. But I think if you could finish up possibly 10-2, we'll have to see what the roster looks like. I think 10-2 with this schedule would definitely probably get you in, top 12, top 10, hopefully. Similar to maybe like a Missouri this year. They had a good team. And then you never know who you got to play. So I'm realistically, if you can get 10-2 with this brutal schedule, you never know. It could look totally different towards the back end. But tough schedule for sure, especially on the road. And I guess pretty decent home slate, right? And getting those three at the very end, Tennessee, UMass, and Georgia Tech, even though they were scrappy this year, that'll help.
Yeah, yeah, the home slate's not that great again when you consider the fact that, Clemson's a home game, but it's in Atlanta. You got Tennessee Tech, you have Auburn, Mississippi State. Tennessee would be a good one, UMass, and then Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech competes the same way they did this year. That actually is going to be a better game than it has been in the past. Um, oh, that's what I was going to say. The thing about being 10-2 that really has me optimistic about even that is the fact that we don't have divisions this year. So as brutal as this schedule is, there's going to be other SEC teams that have something similar. So it kind of gives me optimism that 10-2 could still get us to Atlanta at the end of the year, possibly.
It
And
is.
like you said, I think 10-2 is absolutely doable with this.
Yeah, completely agree. I would definitely take 10 to 11 would be great. I did want to ask if you read into it because everything's changing next year. How about since there's no divisions, if there was somehow like let's say Texas, Georgia, and Alabama had one loss or whichever one, how are the tiebreakers and how would they do that? Let's say if somehow three teams ended up with one loss. Any idea on have you read into that? How that would who would be the top two?
I haven't read that. Trying to think of what. I guess conference record would be the next thing they would go to. Like you would go to conference record, you couldn't go to division record.
All right.
I guess, and then you would go either to like opponent, like point differential or record or whatever, and
Right.
then I guess the last one would be like points scored or something like that. But like I think it would probably go to conference record first, and then like opponent record second.
Well, we all know who would get in there if they had one loss. There would be a big push for Alabama. We know how that is.
That's why I thought it was so funny that Georgia released their schedule because it's just like you know what? Y'all may have gotten who y'all wanted to get into the playoffs, but not saying that's what happened, but like it's funny to think about it that way.
It is. Because I know Georgia didn't win it. I know we're partial here, but that jump from 1 to 6 was still really bad. And then of course Alabama 8 to 4, kind of hay in the barn. I still feel bad for Florida State, but maybe we can finish them off and quiet them down. We just got to see what our roster is going to look like with all the opt outs and transfer portal and everything. What's your gut tell you on Beck? You feel good about him coming back from what you've read?
Yeah, I feel real strong that he'll be the quarterback next year.
Do you think he gets that $4 million? I think there's a rumor on that. That's a lot of money, but
The interesting thing about that is, from what I've read, nobody's released an actual official number. And if you go back in Georgia's history, when Caleb Williams was in the transfer portal, before he went to USC, when he was in the transfer portal from Oklahoma, he was asking for 4 million.
oh,
And up to that point, Georgia was in on his recruitment. They were actually talking to him. And somebody brought it up when I was talking to him about which blows my mind. Stetson was still the quarterback at Georgia, and they were talking to Caleb Williams to come in.
yeah.
But
Oh,
once they heard the $4 million number, they were out.
right.
So Kirby said it over and over again. He's not getting in a bidding war with these kids. So when you start hearing high numbers like that, it makes me start thinking they're fabricated.
Yeah, completely agree. I think Kirby's trying to like he'll give you some NIL money, which I agree on, but he's selling. Come in, we're gonna you'll get improvement, get great coaching, and you got a chance of making it to the league and having the most draft picks recently. I think that's what he's trying to sell on the culture, um, getting evaluated and everything. I think that's what he's doing, which it should be. Can't just try to make a bidding war every year. And then Eric, how do we follow you on the different social media platform? Got you right here on Twitter, which is X now, and also your website and any interesting stats. Your website has some great information on Georgia and all the statistics there. Anything you might want to share on that?
Um, Off the top of my head, I can't really think of any right now. Unfortunately, because as you alluded to, with the opt outs and stuff of the Orange Bowl, it's so tough to really what's it called? Analyze what we're going to see because like we don't even know what the roster is going to look like right now. We don't know who's playing. I think the only player that's made an official announcement is Kendall is playing. Like other than that, I don't know for sure. I know Cedric Cedric Van Pran has accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl, but outside of that, I have no idea what's going on with him. So, um, all I'm going to say is I'm really hoping for a better um, performance from our line of scrimmage, both
Yeah,
sides, defensive line, offensive line,
yeah.
in the Orange Bowl. One of the matchups I was looking forward to, unfortunately, we won't get to see. I wanted to see our corners against Johnny Wilson.
Mhm.
Um, I was hoping to see that in the playoffs this year. At the very beginning of the year, I thought that both of us would be there. So it's interesting to see us in the Orange Bowl with them outside of the playoffs. And unfortunately, I won't get to see that.
Yeah, and there's no telling if Kamari Lassiter, who's one of our great corners, if he'll even play. He might opt out. I'm sure he'll be a high draft pick.
Which the thing about that is, I actually am excited to see the what could be the 2024 version of the Dogs minus freshmen and of course minus transfer portal guys. So like where some fans get disappointed by the opt outs and stuff, I find it a very good thing because you get to see, the next line of guys that have been fighting and scraping to get on the field. They finally get their chance.
Yeah, that's the great thing about bowl. You get extra. I think it's what 15 practices or 15 or 20 practices, whatever it is. So, which is really great, and you get to build for next year, almost like a bona fide spring practice. So, yeah, I think that's a great thing. Get to see some future dogs. And then, yeah, just make sure again to follow Eric at Report Bulldawg on Twitter. Got it up here again for you. And also check out his website. Got some great information on that as well. Another real quick one. Think Ladd comes back, or do you think he's going to go to the just because he was injured this year? I think he missed 5 games. He was banged up in a sixth one. Think we see him again, or think he's going to go to the draft?
I'm not really sure. Like there's I'm pretty sure Brock's gone.
Oh yeah.
I know there's buzz, like the Panther buzzing that he could. I'm pretty sure he's gone. Lad is a different kind of animal, like you said. He was hurt and stuff this year. Um, the same thing. I know you didn't ask about him, but it's the same kind of situation Small Munden's in,
Mm,
where they both would probably be getting higher grades from the NFL if they were both healthy this year. And definitely a year coming back would help both of them. I think it would help Smile more than it would help Lad, though. Lad's put on tape what he can do when he's healthy. I mean, Smile has too. I think Smile started. This was his second year starting, wasn't it?
I believe so.
And so Lad, I think, has 3 years of tape, including this injury prone one. So I really hope he comes back. I would understand if he doesn't, but like I have a feeling he will. Like I haven't heard anything. That's not any, but I have a feeling he will.
Okay, that'd be great to
And
get him to come back.
one of the reasons I believe that is because of some of the receivers that are leaving. It makes me believe that. Um, Also, the interesting thing on that, uh, because people talk about Neil all the time, and this, I want to be clear about something. I want to like with the receivers leaving, Zeke Haynes
Mhm.
was about to be on the field. Like Kirby said, him and Anthony Evans were two of the guys he found very hard to keep off the field this year. But there was so many guys in front of him.
Yeah.
Zeke got sick and lost about 15 pounds, and that kept him kind of off the field. So, like, I don't believe him leaving had anything to do with playing time because he knew why he wasn't playing. But the very interesting fact about Zeke is his primary recruiter was Fran Brown,
Mm,
and Fran Brown's going to Syracuse,
that's right.
and now Zeed's transferring. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zeed at Syracuse next year.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, good observation there. yeah, we'll see. Georgia, if it got a lot, if you get a lot of transfers or people moving on, it could be a little light at the receiving core next year. So yeah, we'll see. I know Dylan Bell, rah, be great to get Lad back. I guess Rosemary Jackson, I think you still got eligibility, so we'll see.
Dominic, like I said, Anthony. Oh, how have we not talked about Terrell Williams?
Right.
Like, I think he got 5 targets all year last year, but like in his sophomore year, he could be a big difference maker.
Right. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Also that kid for Swainsboro, he killed it yesterday in the game. DeMello, I think it's DeMello Jones from Swainsboro. He had like 4 touchdowns. He was all over the field. He'll be a great pickup. I think he's a little light in the pants. So hopefully they'll get him in the weight room, bulk up a little bit. But yeah, he'll be a great. He's 4-star. He was all over the place yesterday in the state championship game.
Was help my memory. Was he the one that also had the pick six?
He did pick six.
Yeah.
I think he ran one in. He did a little bit of everything. He's all over the place.
Do you know what we're looking at him for?
I think they have him at cornerback on like 247
Okay.
listed, but you never know. Might just could be another Champ Bailey. Just get him the ball.
Him and Ellis on this. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Let's just hope
I
we keep
cannot
all of
wait.
them. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I don't want to keep you too long, but
Yeah.
speaking of keeping guys, there was a question brought up because Dylan's good friends with Farrell. Um, his first name escapes me right now. The tight end.
All right.
Um, his mom tweeted out today. I forget the actual quote, but she tweeted out today when Ryan signed. Like she quote tweeted Ryan
Mhm.
and said that the class of 2024 is going to be elite or awesome or something to that effect. Basically saying they're still in.
All right. That's great
So
news.
they won't be following. Yeah, they won't be following him to Nebraska.
That's good. All right, Eric. Well, I appreciate you coming on to get a. If everybody's still waiting around, or hopefully everybody's still checking out, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. That'll really help us out. And check out Eric Taylor on X and Twitter and his website. That'd be great.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming on today. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.